Darren Price, welcome to the STEM Profile Series.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, now, so Darren, we've been talking a little bit, and so you are a cryotherapist. So, can you talk about how you got into it and what's the science behind cryotherapy?
Yeah, great common question. Honestly, it started with just this curiosity about recovery and performance, about how athletes bounce back so quickly and how people can manage the chronic pains that they have. So I came across a localized cryotherapy. It felt like this perfect intersection of health, science, and innovation. So I saw the chance to do some cutting edge technology by looking at my mom being a three-time cancer survivor. Um, and a former athlete. I studied to become certified, did the man hours, did the training, licensed, and kind of took off from there. Just kind of want to be able to help people heal better. I think that's what really drew me to becoming a crowd therapist, but I'm not a doctor.
And so, if you could talk a little bit about the science behind it, because I know from what I've seen is applying a cold to muscles, and can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so what our body does, then let's get heavy. The short side of it is just cold treatment. So what the body does, it has this built-in mechanism of fight or flight mode or self-healing. So what we need to do and what we find out is that shocking the body in different ways has different results, right? Heat, cold, pain, et cetera, et cetera. From even putting on your clothes, you get feelings from sight, all your five senses. But so holistically, with no medication injections, the science of it is we're using cold CO2, which is probably around minus 140 Celsius or Fahrenheit. So we're getting dropping the body temperature about down to about 50 degrees, and which means the skin is about 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So your body starts to go into what's called apoptosis or lipolysis. That means technically the body has been shocked enough to produce red blood cells in the body. And when that takes place, red blood cells is a natural healing agent. So what we've done by shocking the body is sending it into a fight or flight mode, which means it's going to heal itself faster. And through the production of red blood cells, we have found out that there's also stem cell replacement because the cold destroys bad tissues, whether it's fat, swelling from the muscles, other different things that cause toxicities in your body has to escape. And we'll touch on that. So when that happens, the blood vessels are opened up or constricted through that cold because your heart is pumping those red blood cells. Now you're getting a jolt of energy and immune system boost naturally, right? Enhanced. And as that's happening, it's destroying any type of bad tissues in your body and replacing them with the fresh red blood cells. So it's like a flushing system. So when that happens, your body temperature drops, of course. So what I do is your body's trying to warm itself back up to get its temperature back up to that 90, 96, whatever main temperature that your body needs to be. As it's doing that, it's healing itself, it's repairing itself, right? Because just like your skin, it sheds 24/7 and you always get different shades throughout time over time, but it's immediately happening right now. So your body's constantly healing itself. So how do we enhance that? Through cold treatment. Uh, so that's the longer side of the science behind it. It's cutting edge technology, but it's been around. Again, the Egyptians used cold treatment, like you and I, old school athletes, ice bath. Same concept, but not the same. So when we start talking about the cold, that's why our body shakes when we go outside, right? Fight or flight mode. Not a bad thing unless it's constant temperature that's not the right degree for your body to rejuvenate itself. Otherwise, you can freeze to death, which means you'll overheat in the cold because you have so many layers of clothes on. That's why sometimes you'll see, if you look up some studies, that there's a high percentage of individuals that are caught or found frozen to death with no clothes because they've overheated and their body's overcompensated to warm itself back up, but it can't keep to maintain the right temperature in order to do so. So everything just stops. So I hope I'm piecing all this together to give you a bigger target about the science behind it. And as I wrap up the question, that it was just rheumatoid arthritis by a Japanese doctor in 1978, other than the Egyptians using it so far back. But some of the side effects that they found was weight loss, hair regrowth, skin conditioning, healing, in addition to pain. So they consider those to be side effects. But now through further science, research, and technology, that cold has so many other benefits, such as those things. They're no longer looked at as side effects because we're producing collagen, right? Which means we're healing scar tissue. We're freezing brown fat, which means you're losing weight. And it comes out in your lymphatic drainage when your body temperature warms back up. So all these benefits, that's the science behind it, that this one thing of cold, once we know how our body works and is mostly receptive to what heals us, our body will continue to talk to us, and it'll force us to maintain a healthy diet, staying hydrated, all those different things, and all the benefits, endorphins, all these juices that are good for that are naturally inside of you, they are getting enhanced naturally with no downtime, no side effects. And that's what I think is so amazing about it, that we have to find a way to heal better, which is my concept. And I'm going to pause there.
Yeah, that's incredible. You seem to have a great grasp of this. Um, have you always been interested in science?
I would say yes. Kind of multifaceted, I guess, because I didn't always start in. I'm not a doctor, by the way, like I said, into cryotherapy, but I did take a few science classes. I was interested in slicing up a few frogs, and but but on a serious tip, I was always interested in the periodic table and the things of how it worked, the science of uh, knowing how machines work. I was heavy into, I call science General Woods class, and being able to use mechanics of your brain, um, kinetic and static, to start thinking about how to design different things. So yeah, I was pretty much into science projects, and I guess you could say I was OCD as well because I like perfect lines and
Okay.
different things like that. And once I figured out how trigonometry and geometry work, uh, I think I took a real, but I really enjoyed it. So
You just took me back to high school with the biology class and the trigonometry. What kind of student were you in school, and how did that influence your approach once you started preparing for this, career path?
I think it's multifaceted, but I was ended up studying business management and accounting. In high school, I loved numbers, because it's like science. It's exact, never changes, right? So I think I was fascinated with numbers first. So I started to become interested in accounting classes, and knowing how those things worked, into measurements because I took home economics as well, and I was very well off at that, learning how to cook and follow exact instructions, um, knowing to see what the results of doing so, and not so much of those results of not doing so. But um, I think from there, those kind of things prepared you, because what I do now is a science, it's a technology. I have to learn how to read the device, the sub-zero device, for the correct temperature, being able to read the person's body temperature, um, when to move, when not to move, when to observe and inspect somebody's skin to kind of pre-diagnose them as well, or their swelling, et cetera, et cetera. Those type of things kind of helped me out in high school. Science, General Woods, taking measurements, seeing different angles, definitely accounting with numbers, and I study business management. So I think I have a leg up as well on the business side, um, of knowing how to run a business, learning technically how to multiply and divide, put together a sheet, um, and knowing sometimes not, how to take losses that I could prevent. Not to say that I never have, but I think being able to study numbers and being educated in business courses or classes helps you become a polished individual, even though it's not necessarily taught in school to be an entrepreneur, but It's always taught how to run somebody else's businesses. With all due respect, you learn how to do that enough in your own skills and talent, and you work towards the goals to know that you can do these things. Um, so I put all those pieces together, work for other companies and run them very well. And I started my own business. Said I can do this on my own, not necessarily on my own, but a lot of resources and people, but knowing how I had the confidence in starting a business, because any business is technically the same, the basis, the foundation. It just might be a different service or a product. And there's a science to that too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for somebody that might be interested in getting into cryotherapy, what kind of skills would they need to be successful?
I think number one, have a lot of confidence. Um, be logical in what they're doing and what they think and believe. Um, always think logical over your feelings, other than the passion that you may have for what you want to do. Make sure that it's something that you have a passion for. That's something you could provide. That's something somebody needs. You can run any business that you want. Um, but I think at number one is having the confidence in doing it. Um, First step is stepping out there, showing up. That's usually the hardest part. Even if you have all the tools, it's like you're not sure how to use them. You never know until you start using them. You might use a tool the wrong way. You might have missed a step or a tool or bought a cheap tool. But yeah, definitely confidence. Just go ahead and stepping out there. Like I started my business. I kept writing and asking God for a vision, man, and use my gifts and talents. I'm a funny kind of guy. I like to talk to people, and so that helps out a lot. Even if you're kind of withdrawn, you need to find somebody to be your spokesperson. But just don't be afraid to make a mistake, man. Confidence and don't be afraid to make a mistake. And
Yeah, all,
in
all great.
cryotherapy,
Yeah, great
yeah,
advice. And
yeah, yeah.
so for somebody who might not be who might be looking to get in that field, I know science is a field that's always changing. How do you stay on top of the changing trends?
Yeah. So, and that's the backside of the last question is what I recommend for something like cryotherapy. If you're already on track or you want to know how, because this is some things that I did not do, but I'm going back and I'm constantly researching and studying. Take other courses, learn how to run a whole business in general first, but go into cryotherapy with the mindset of it's numbers, um, and it's exact. You really have to take part in what you're doing, and understanding it. Take massage therapy classes, take a chiropractic class, take health and management, get certified as CPR. Some of these things I have done and I'm doing, but you know, take any type of therapeutic courses or training that you can. Even though you won't find very many on cryotherapy because there's not only but one or two, if there's any out there. Um, but take other things so that you can become well-rounded and you can really help diagnose your clients, um, in understanding what is actually happening. Because if you don't know, they don't know. Some people have no idea how their body reacts. And they're going to look to you in cryotherapy because you're telling them or selling them that I can make you feel better and heal better at the same time without medication. So that circles back to the confidence level. But when you know what you're talking about other things and other types of therapy and treatments and medication and innovation, the changes in technology, and what they can do and cannot do. The big thing is knowing what they don't do. Um, you have to really that's how you remain confident, in staying polished. Just keep taking CEUs, continuous education units. You don't have to necessarily enroll in college. You don't have to be a doctor, but take it serious in what you're doing, and you'll understand, have a better outlook on your own life because you're really changing people's lives with this system, with cryotherapy. And I think that's very important that we do those things so we become well-rounded individuals. And more so, lastly, in order to train somebody else, because I'm no good if I can't show somebody else how to do it. Now, it's not free 99, but it's important that we do things the right way and proper, especially for us in Black individuals, Black men, Black small businesses. It's important that we provide quality in what we do, at least my company as a whole. So, hard stop.
All right, and your company is Glacier Chill Cryotherapy.
Yes, sir. Glacier Chill On-Site and Mobile Cryotherapy LLC. The short side is just Glacier Chill Cryotherapy. You can website is this is my plug
Yeah,
www
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Do your thing.
www.chill dash or hyphen therapy.com. So chill dash therapy.com. If you're old school, you want to type it all out, it's Glacier Chill On-Site Cryotherapy. Now, if you just Google that, my company will show up in any kind of way that you type it up. But that's the website. You can find me on Instagram. It's at Glacier Chill '02. Also on Facebook under Glacier Chill On-Site and Mobile. You'll find me there and other media outlets, TikTok, etc., under the same name. Fanbase is another minority-owned business app. So you'll find me on Fanbase as well. And I'm just out and about. You'll see me anywhere at any event, health fair, church event, men's group, women's group. I also host events. I travel to all of my clients, by the way, anywhere in the DMV. So I'm a mobile business, and I'm also accepting clients right now. I'm partnered up with Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Ashburn. So I serve clients out of that location as well. So you can find me there by appointment only, or you can reach out to me directly, 240-681-9493, or you can email me, text message me. You'll find me anywhere on the web, and I'll be happy to schedule an appointment with you, give you a free consultation.
All right, Darren, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for your time and your insights.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Best of luck to everybody out there. And again, have the mindset of staying positive and focused, man. And don't let nobody talk you out of your dreams. And my question to you is, are you still living your dream or are you still asleep?
That's right.